You can't hear me probably. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. It's definitely hump day. Oh, that's probably why. All right, let's go and go to my other little platforms here and make sure everything is set up the way it's supposed to be. How are y'all doing? How you doing, Miss Linda? How you doing, Nicola? What's going on with y'all this morning? Have you been impacted by the a little feedback? And we're gonna change it to here. All right, before I start my work day, I try to get in a good 30 minutes to an hour of movement. And as always, I'm glad that all of you are here. Always happy to have each and every one of you here. As otherwise, I'd be talking to myself looking crazy. This is the most consistent I've ever been. And you guys are part of the reason for that. Normally, I'm not as consistent. I start and stop and start and stop, and then it's like December. That's really how it normally goes. But for whatever reason, in this time, in this moment, things are different. But I do believe that things happen for a reason and in a certain order. So I'm going to embrace the moment that I'm in, and I'm very, very happy and thankful that each and every one of you who can pop in, that you do that. Let's see. All of you that are capable and are willing to hang with me, thank you. We're talking rejection this morning. We are talking about rejection. Good morning. I got a lot of people watching this morning. Good morning, Be Digital Love. Give myself credit. It's not a little platform. That's right. It's not a little platform. That's right. We talked about that yesterday. That's right. Hold me to it, Linda. This is not a little platform. This is the platform. You are 100% correct. See how easy it slips in? You see how easy it slips in? We talked about this yesterday. Practice what you preach, Martine. Practice what you preach. This is not a little platform. This is a platform. And I'm blessed to have it. And I'm blessed to have all of you here. It slips in so quickly, so easily. That gummit. I done said it as quickly. It came out as quickly as I said it. That's why I need y'all. That's why I'm talking a lot to myself, even though you're getting some benefit of hearing the other half of it. All right, let me get my little stuff together here. Now, I had my daughter pick up the hanger, but now she got a paper back there. This girl here. Whoo, good morning, Brenda Creations. How you doing? Tall Tane, how you doing? Or Tall Tane, could be Tane. Good morning, Flawless Aju. Good morning, Facebook and YouTube. If you come on this call and you can't stay long, but you want to hear more, go to my YouTube, subscribe, and then the videos live there. Okay, so I keep them up. I don't do nothing with them. I'll tell you the truth. I just put it there, and if people want to watch at a different time, they can. All right, so you got that option. Got quite a few of you here this morning. Thanks for being here. We're talking rejection. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt rejected personally or professionally. Good morning, Sage. How you doing this morning? I hadn't seen you in a couple of days. How are you? What's going on with you, my dear? Put a 1 one in the chat if you've ever been or felt rejected. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt rejected personally or professionally. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Forever and something. Good morning, Fatu Dia. Good morning, Boba. Good morning, Farron. How are you this morning? We're talking rejection. I think of all the feelings, rejection is the one that is the most embarrassing to experience. To me, it is the most emotionally revealing, and we don't talk about it enough. Feelings of rejections. Also, rejection. The way we perceive rejection is not always accurate. It is like a magic trick. What we think is there is not always there. And for that reason, it slows us down. Now, from a business standpoint, one of the biggest reasons why people can't or struggle with moving forward in their business is fear. Is rejection. Glenda, I know you're on this call. I'm literally just sending this live to make the algorithm do what it do. That's all. So don't pay me no mind. I just want the algorithm to see. I shared it from my personal account, then I shared it again from this account, my Mosaic Creators account. So it'll keep making a share. Good morning, Honey Crochet. Rejection can be real, but often it's also like an illusion. Our perception of it anyway. So yesterday, those of you here yesterday, let me get my new people caught up. I talked a little bit about leaving public education. I left public ed for a lot of reasons. I've got a lot of former educator friends on here, so I won't go into all of the nitty-gritty details. And educator friends, don't go guessing and assuming either. You don't have enough of the full story. You won't get it on this live platform either. But I'm going to talk about some high-level things. And if you feel like I'm talking about you, then I hit dog holler. Oh my God, Janelle is here. My best friend in the whole wide world is here. I was just talking about you this morning. I could just squeeze and hug and kiss her cheeks. It's my bestest friend in the whole world. She hopped in. I'm so happy you're here. Sage says we too much and make the rejection far bigger than what it is, as opposed to being grateful for the opportunity of what's to come. Woo! Sage, you spitting fire this morning, I see. And she's right. Too often we spend way too much time making that rejection much larger than what it actually is. All right. I love education. But before I left, there were a lot of big events that kind of kicked off the shifts in my mindset. The biggest thing is that I realized that I wasn't going to be able to move the needle, that there was systemic oppression in public ed, and there were just rooms, spaces that I wasn't going to get in, or at least I believed that I wasn't going to get in, and there was an imbalance, and the imbalance was more important. The imbalance was I was prioritizing this work and this identity that I built up in public ed over the identity that I had as a mom. They were out of balance. Okay. And that had nothing to do with what was happening in my career and in the workplace, right? That's me. In when I was in public ed, my identity to who I was as a teacher and then a teacher leader and then a district admin, the two were so close. It was very important to me to leave this legacy. I felt grounded to it from a soul kind of level. And then as I began to navigate new spaces in that work, it became clear to me that I wasn't going to push this needle. Now, I know now that I wasn't going to push the needle alone. Can't do it alone. But also my larger issue was I wasn't building the kind of legacy that I needed to build, the one that really mattered. And so I had a few things that happened in the workplace. And so I decided to start looking outside of education for something else. Okay. But before I did that, I also had another major problem. I had a pattern that when I didn't get what I wanted, I perceived it as rejection, a job, a role. I perceived it as a complete rejection of me, of my character, of who I was as a person. And that was wrong. I made the rejection part much bigger than what it was. And also, I didn't fully recognize that closed doors, much to Sage's point, that closed doors opened others. Okay. So the different kinds of rejections I was experiencing during the final couple years of my public ed life were all the right, perceived rejections, were the right closed doors that put me where I am right now talking to you. I get to do work that I enjoy. I get to build a better legacy for my children. I have separated my identity as a human being and career. Those two have separated. How I navigate in my workplace relationships has completely transformed. And I have good quality relationships that fall in line with who I want to identify as an employee when I have my employee hat on. Now, Janelle's been rocking with me, so she knows the deal. It's been a long journey to get there. Okay? Long journey. But here's my point. We have to put rejection on its head. We got to spin it on its head. Okay? We cannot continue to navigate in fear of rejection. And when we believe or perceive or we are actually rejected, because it does happen, we've got to ground ourselves in what's real and what's true. Okay? We got to ground ourselves in what's real and in what's true. Y'all, I wrote some notes. I'm trying to find my little notes here. I always have notes that I don't want to leave anything out. So give me a second. What y'all think? How have you handled rejection? Let me know in the chat. How have you handled rejection? Let me know in the chat. And let's talk about it. How have you handled rejection? You know, I don't know what those exclamation points mean, but all right, girl. I don't know what they mean, girl. But okay. Let me move my notes around so I can see y'all. I can't see y'all. Good morning, Bree. How do you handle rejection? That's the question. For me, I haven't handled actual rejection or perceived rejection the best. I haven't always been good at it. I've gotten better. But it's taken a long time, therapy, and really recognizing that people are often making decisions that have nothing to do with you, that don't serve you. People are often making decisions that have nothing to do with you and that don't serve you. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about this because a lot of people are being laid off for multiple reasons. If they're a federal worker, trying to decide whether to stay or whether to go. The actual experience, what is happening, I want to make sure to encourage and remind you, it has nothing to do with who you are, what you've done in your role, in whatever capacity, whatever the job is. You're a federal worker, if you work for a private company, whatever. All right? Doesn't matter. Okay? That is not a rejection of you. Okay? There has been a lot of discussion around and a lot of people who are in DEI roles, okay, that are being laid off in our government in the U.S. Whether you were hired as a DEI employee or not, the decision to keep or remove you is not a rejection of you. Okay? I need you to hear that. I need you to write it down. I need you to, as you work to pivot, figure out what your new plan is going to be, ground yourself in that truth. Okay? It has nothing to do with you. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be hurt. But what's not okay is to take it as a personal rejection. Okay? It is so easy to lean into feelings of, this thing was taken from me, so there must be something wrong with me. All right? Let's see. Be Digital Love says she has to think about it and reframe the way she perceives it. I love that. Sage says, better today because I know better. But I've had plenty of bitter days from rejections in the past. Yes. Bitterness is something, I call bitterness earwax. Because when you think about what earwax may taste like, it just sends me. I call bitterness, that's like chewing earwax. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like earwax. Just nasty. Just sticking on the insides of your mouth and never letting go. Hey, I don't know what that join my team thing means, but join my team. I don't know what it means. I saw it. All right. Bitterness is earwax. And every time you lean into bitterness, you lean in to taking a bite of earwax, rolling it around in your mouth, and swallowing. Good morning, Linda. I like to use that description because it should make you feel sick. It should make you deject the feelings of rejection and of bitterness. Sage said, ew, right? Right? You got to reject. You got to reject rejection. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean that what you're experiencing isn't valid. All I am saying is, if you go ahead and let it go and accept where you are in the moment, everything can open up for you. Okay? Because oftentimes, and I know I've said this, and I'm sure you guys have too, You say things like, why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. I'm great at my job. I've got the experience. I meet every qualification, plus I've got some extras. Why is this happening to me? This isn't fair. This is not fair. That's my one. And here's my other one. This is not fair. What is happening when people are being laid off and it has nothing to do, or fired, or removed, or not getting the job they're qualified, sometimes overqualified for? It is not fair. It's not fair. It's not right. It's wrong. But what we have to do is we have to avoid this attitude of, maybe I'm just not good enough. That's a lie. That's why. You're good enough. You're capable enough. You're smart enough. You were probably overqualified. You are the best choice. You were the best choice. They just didn't choose you. And a lot of times the choosing had nothing to do with any of the things you know to be true about yourself. So J. Rose says, rejection is a part of life. I typically don't worry about things I can't control. That's true. However, in the climate we are currently living in, I find myself worrying about potential rejection that could come my way as I navigate through the world of the day. So I'm at a tug of war with my normal belief system around rejection. Yes, a lot of people are feeling that. It's why I wanted to make sure I had this conversation today, because a lot of folks are feeling just like J-Ro feels. With everything going on in our world, no matter what happens, it has nothing to do with you being good enough. Nothing. I need you to reject that. Okay? Reject that. Sage says, what is fair? We're in the USA. Child, I don't know. My mama used to say, it may not be fair, but it's just. I don't know if that's true anymore. I just don't know if that's true anymore. Okay? But those are the three questions that we normally are at a battle with. Why is this happening to me? I got kids to feed, family to take care of, or I'm too close to retirement for this. Why is this happening to me? This is not fair. I've done the work. I know I've struggled with that. Why are we in this place as a society, as a country? I did everything these people told me to do. They said, go to school and get a degree. I went and got 2. They said, be a good quality, good decision-making citizen. I've done that. I've gotten 2 tickets. Never been to jail. I generally don't break laws. I vote. I did what y'all told me to do. I've been the kind of black you said I needed to be. Let me add that for my black folks in the room. I've been the black that you told me I had to be. I've been it. So you mean to tell me now there's a possibility that I will lose access to what I've worked for? Puts a bitter taste in people's mouths. But remember, bitterness tastes like earwax. You don't want earwax in your mouth. All right? So we've got to remove the bitterness, and we got to flip these questions on their head. All right? Sage says, was it ever just? Maybe not fair, but it just is. I like that, Sage. It was probably never fair. It just is. That's what Sage said. It was never fair. It's never going to be fair. It just is. And we have to figure out how to navigate in a world of just this. Okay? But them 3 questions, man. Y'all. Good morning, Linda. Them 3 questions. Why is this happening to me? This isn't a fair. Maybe I'm not good enough. Good morning, Rosalind. Good morning, Toya. Boy, y'all showing out over on Facebook this morning. Hey! Hold on, TikTok friends. Y'all showing out this morning. Everybody here this morning. Oh, y'all showing out. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Good morning. I'm glad to have you. We're talking about rejection. Good morning, Sarah Joy. Let me pause. Let me tell you something about Sarah Joy. If you're on TikTok, go follow her. Her content's amazing. She's a wonderful human being. And it's for as long as I've known her, she's always been exactly who she is. And she's lived that purpose out loud. And I love her. All right. Hey, Sarah. Good morning, Monet. We talking rejection this morning, okay? So I'm gonna run through the gamut. I was in public ed, and there were some jobs I'd applied for, didn't get them for a lot of reasons. I made the rejection bigger than what it was, but every time I didn't get the thing I did get was exactly where I was supposed to be. All the moments, and I didn't always see it as rejection. I saw it as failure. I failed. Oh, I failed. I didn't fail. A door was shut so the right one would open. One door was shut so the right door would open. And all of the doors that did open, literally, it was like leapfrogs that put me right here on this treadmill at 8:15 talking to y'all. Okay? Sage says we have to navigate our is. The is, this is where we are. We have to navigate it as best we can and understand that as these doors close, because much like I'm trying to use her internet name. She has another name, but I'm trying to use her internet name. Like J. Rose said, the rejection is inevitable. Okay, it's going to happen. It may happen this year. Okay, and our feelings of why did this happen? This isn't fair. Maybe I'm not good enough. All of those feelings may come to the surface, but I need you to hear from me that we're going to battle those feelings. We're going to remove the bitterness from us, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do to make it. Okay? I have a contract. It brings in my supplemental income. In August, that contract will be gone. I use that contract as part of my income. I don't know if I'll get another one. And I'm really thinking 75, 80% I won't. Okay? I can perceive it as a rejection, or I can perceive it as I know that door is probably coming to a close. It's super likely, more than likely. So what am I going to do in this moment to prepare, if I can? And how can I make the most of what's in front of me? Okay? Joy said, nope, rejection is protection. That's what Joy said. All right? She said, rejection is protection. All right? When I look back, there were all these moments, and generally it's jobs. It's the job I didn't get that got me closer. I'm really good at tech. I'm a great tech person. I'm super techy. What people don't know is the first 15 years of my career, 10, 15 years, I actually used tech quite minimally. Didn't use a lot of tech. I was an English teacher. I taught out of a book. I read. I did just enough computer to make slideshows, PowerPoint presentations, and send emails. Okay? But I became very passionate about using technology in my classroom. it was starting to make my work as a teacher easier. That passion placed me in a technology coach job. It was not a job I was expecting to get. It was not, I thought I was going to teach in the classroom forever. Okay. But I loved it. Then that job led to a district level technology job. What I learned from that team and how I grew was so expansive in just a couple years' time that all of the knowledge and skills and training that I did at that time has allowed me to be exactly where I am to now, doing the work that I'm doing now, talking to you, being able to manage 2 lives, being able to set up different types of screens, all of it. All right. If I had gotten the job I thought I should have, I wouldn't be here. I would not be in a position where I now get to focus on the legacy of my children instead of my legacy of my career. Good morning, Toya. Good morning, Miss Tricia. Miss Patricia, good morning. All right. So we got to quit eating bitterness. We've got to see closed doors as opportunities to do something else. And if you're uncertain, many of us are uncertain. Jay Rose said she's uncertain. A lot of folks are uncertain. So while you're in this uncertain moment, here's what I want you to do. A couple of questions I want you to ask yourself. What is this trying to teach me? Okay. I'm really starting to be more in the space of what is this trying to teach me? I didn't get the job, didn't get the grant. No one purchased my class. My contract might come to an end. I may lose my job. What's the lesson? Lead from a place of what's the lesson here. Okay, because when you can do that, then you're already putting yourself in a better position to act instead of to act in bitterness or hurt or pain. Okay. Second question. What is this opportunity hiding? What opportunity is hiding in this moment? Okay. The world feels like it's on fire. I know in my world, myself included, everybody I know either one person in the family or the whole family have the potential to be laid off because of the industries that they work in and how they navigate with our federal government. Every single person. I don't know a single family. All right. That can create panic. So how can we create a pivot instead of a panic? How can we create a pivot instead of a panic? All right. We got to be able to pivot. So what can you do today to ground yourself in pivoting instead of panicking? If you've already been laid off or forced to retire, how can you pivot? You don't need to rush to a decision. You just need to think, plan, then act. Okay? You don't have to buy up a bunch of stuff. Think, plan, and react. So here's what I'm doing. I know that I'm probably going to lose. Well, I'm not going to lose the contract. It's still there. But I don't think I'm going to get another one. And I need a contract. I need the contract. I need multiple streams of income to be able to make the kinds of decisions I want to make. Okay? So with that being said, I'm already starting to pivot. I'm not waiting until August. Okay, don't wait. Start working on your pivot right now. Okay? If it's cleaning up the resume, clean it up right now. If it's putting out applications, put it out now. If you've got a business and you bought everything for it, but you ain't did nothing with it, let's get started. If you're not posting on social media about your business, why not? If you know you need to be teaching classes, why aren't you teaching? Let's go ahead and start this pivot process, because listen, the way you talk about your situation changes how you approach it. All right? So the way you talk about your situation, that's going to change everything about how you approach it. Okay? When you can start building a plan, that sense of internal panic can go down. All right? Drop a 2 in the chat if you're ready to start seeing your challenges differently. Drop a 2 in the chat if you're ready to start seeing your challenges differently. Okay? Drop a 2 in the chat if you're ready to start seeing your challenges differently. Because it's ugly out here. It's ugly in these streets. So we're going to have to look at our challenges differently. Look at your finances. Decide how you can budget differently. And then you got to do whatever you got to do to make it. In our household, there are 5 different sources of income to keep our household running right now. Inflation is a big reason. Loss of employment over the last couple of years is a big reason. But we do what we got to do. We're going to take whatever job we need to take to make sure we're fed. You wouldn't have made me believe that I would have a business. No. It took me and my spouse both losing our job over the same 3 weeks for me to realize I need to have a pivot in place in case this ever happens again. And so I started a business. Started a business 2 years ago. And it came from a place of, I lost my job the first week of July. I think my husband was out of work the week before that. And we went into July 6th with nobody in the house having a job. Okay? My husband and I are both professionals, got all them degrees and certifications and licenses, all the stuff. And for the first time in 20-something years, we both don't have a job. So that next month, I got another job in August. He got one in September. But in August, I started Mosaic Creative Designs. And so now, here we are 2 years later, and Mosaic Creative Designs is part of my pivot plan. It's part of my pivot plan. All right, so what we're going to do, if we're going to change our thinking, we got to build a pivot plan. Okay? So here's how you build your pivot plan. You're going to pause and reframe. Okay? You're going to ask the question, what's the opportunity? What can I do? Okay? You're going to look for redirection. So if this door is closed, what other paths have opened up for you? We have to shift from why me to what's next. All right. Those of you that are still in your roles, start asking what's next and build a plan around what's next. Okay. Challenges are not the end. Challenges we're going to continue to come up over and over again. They're just part of the process. All right. I spent about 6 months going, why me? Why is this happening to me? There's 6 months I could have saved if I had started navigating in what's next. And trust timing. If you're a person of faith, you're going to say it's God's timing. So my people of faith, my believers, trust God's timing. My people who believe in manifestation, trust your timing. Trust your manifestations. Okay? Because just because it's not happening right now doesn't mean that your perfect fill in the blank is not happening at all. All of these yeses and nos are building up a framework for you to get access to the life you dreamed of. All of these yeses and nos are one big setup for you to get the life of your dreams. Okay? But the most important part to me is we got to move from why me to what's next. All right? We're talking rejection. All this week and in the coming months, I'm going to talk about this a lot. So my folks who come in regularly, sorry, not sorry, because a lot of people are going to be out of work. Everything feels uncertain, and I know I'm going to talk about this more than once. So I'm sorry, but I got to make sure enough people get this message, because what's happening in the world is not about you. Yes, it's going to impact you. And we got to figure out what's next today and build our pivot plan. All right? So turn the news off. Watch the news a little bit less. All right? Stay informed, but watch the news a little bit less. Unfollow some of these groups that are pushing out a lot of political content so that your social media feed isn't overwhelmed. Okay? And really focus on your pivot plan. I'm finding for me, this is the hardest working season I've had in a long time, y'all. Your girl is working. I'm like my mama used to say, I'm working my booty off. Okay? I'm working these ass cheeks off. I'm working. Working a lot. Working more than I would like to. But I recognize that I'm building my pivot plan, that this experience will be temporary. Okay? And all of us may have to put in a little bit more work in ways we never thought we had to, until we get ourselves in a spot where we're feeling a lot more stable. Okay? All right? Let me go read some comments. Good morning, T. Thanks for the follow. Come on, T. Toya says she's building a prompt based off this whole live right now. You preaching. Make sure you share it with us, Toya. I'd love to share it. Joy said right. Joy said, I'm working, but these checks ain't going nowhere, right? Right. These checks ain't going nowhere. Okay? And Toya, I made some shirt designs. I'll share them when I'm done. I made some, yesterday we were talking about not shrinking and why you don't need to shrink and make yourself small. And so we said the only thing we shrinking is waist and debt. That's it. Crystal said that is rough. No news. I wouldn't say no news. I would say limit. Because the news, the information you're receiving, first of all, it's biased. I don't care who the network is. Okay. And second, it's literally making you anxious and making you feel more uncertain than ever. And that doesn't create a safe enough space for you to create a pivot plan. All right. I love that, Toy. I love that. I can't wait to see what you come up with. All right. At your girl when you put them out there. All right. At your girl. Okay. Y'all get where I'm coming from? I'm not saying no news, because you need to be an informed citizen. What I am saying is when the news starts to paralyze you, then you cannot build the appropriate pivot plan. All right? You can't build it because you're paralyzed by fear of the unknown. And I love to, what is it called? Catastrophize. I can think of the worst possible scenario better than anybody. All right, I go in. So I have to actively practice. Actively practice thinking through what's real and what I can do to try to create the best possible circumstance while also understanding that it's still not all in my control. All right. Yeah, Crystal, just cut back. I have a few groups that they be posting stuff like every hour on the hour, baby. They on restriction. I had to put them on restriction. They were stressing me out. It's like y'all's going in the corner. I don't watch the daily news anymore. I watch the evening news twice a week. And that's it. And then whatever Facebook populates, I'll look at that. They don't give me no choice. All right. So here's your homework. Okay. Here's your homework. Today's homework is let's develop pivot plans. Let's come up with what we can do to prepare for what's uncertain. Okay. And let's get to work on it. It might mean you got to put in a few more hours than you normally do, but it may be the best decision you ever made. If you are a employment person, all right, if you're an employment person, that might mean let's brush up that resume. Let's run that resume through ChatGPT. All right, that might be what that means. That might mean applying for jobs and just putting yourself out there. That also might mean networking. Just start to talk to people. Find out what's going on in your industry. That also might mean learning. If you are self-employed, so you run your own businesses and you don't work for an employer, what does your pivot plan look like? Do you need to tap into another part of your niche? Do you need to start a membership program? What do you need to do? One of the businesses that I do a lot of learning from, they've built in their own pivot plan. They've started a more affordable subscription plan. And it's genius. I was like, oh my God, this is how they're going to weather the storm. They've started a smaller subscription, a more affordable subscription, so that the everyday Joe can participate in their offerings. The moment is right. The price is right. And over time, that will probably be the biggest part of their business. Why? Because they're pivoting appropriately at the right moment and at the right time. All right. So my self-employed people, my CEOs, what are y'all doing to pivot in your business? And lastly, this is the last little piece. Personal development. Okay? Personal development. With all the anxiety, the uncertainty, I like to eat. It makes me want to eat. Okay? I want to eat. Okay? When I'm feeling anxious. Okay, some people like to have sex. That's theirs. Some people like to gamble. I want crawfish in a daiquiri. I want some bird crabs. And I don't like Maryland style. Love y'all Maryland people, but I want Louisiana style. All right. I want fogo de chow. I want to eat good. Okay. I want the fogo de chow. All right. I want meat and rice and gumbo. That's my go-to. Okay. Now, when y'all see, because some of this stuff in my kitchen right now, don't judge me. And when I get crabs this weekend, I'm fine, y'all. But that's my go-to. All right. So since I know that I will tend to overeat or eat foods that make me feel better when I'm anxious and uncertain, I have to have a pivot plan for that as well. I have to recognize that those feelings are happening and make sure that I'm like mining my habits and what I'm doing. Okay, so for me, it's food. Some people, it's sex. Others, it's gambling. All right. So I want you to be very aware. Are you leaning into habits that don't serve you fully? Okay. Yeah, let me know. What's y'all? What are y'all's triggers when you're feeling anxious and uncertain? Be Digital Love says tacos and birra. That's what B did. That's hers. All right. Mine is food, comfort food. Okay. So on a personal level, make sure you have a pivot plan for that too. Do you need tacos and birra 3 times a week? You don't. 1 time is fine. Do I need 3 pounds of crawfish with a daiquiri every weekend? I do not. Once or twice a month is good. When I'm doing it 3-4 times a month, I'm anxious. Message it to me. Message me, Toya. Toya, I'll put it out too, guys. Toya is, or Toya, if you post it, tag me, and then I'll reshare it in these groups. All right, because that was your brainchild. So if you post it, put it in a post on Facebook, or put a post on Facebook on the Ticket Talkie. I will reshare it. Just tag me. Listen, B Digital Love said, baby, I ain't pivoting from tacos 2 times a month. Period. I hear you, girl. I ain't pivoting from crawfish at least 2 times. Okay? I ain't pivoting either. But I do recognize that 4, 5, 6 times is probably too much. All right. Overcomer Craft says shopping. Ooh. Tamika, you calling out people Amazon carts? That's what we doing? And Target carts for y'all that's too shame to go in your Target, your local Target. But you done kept your Target cart open, but you ain't going in. You're going in your Target, honey. You won't walk in. You don't want them to see you, but your cart is full at the house on the computer. Okay? So yes, shopping. Right? So you got to mind it. You got to be aware of them, recognize when you're triggered by them, and just make adjustments. Okay? So for me, it is definitely crawfish, especially this time of the year. So I have to be very observant, like a couple times a month, 1 or 2 times a month is good. But if I start getting outside of that, I know now that I am chasing good feelings, and I try to hold back and find other things to do. All right. Exercise. All right. So I'm already minding some of my anxious feelings because I get up and I walk. I know Tamika, she gets up, she hits the gym. Linda's out there walking with me. Be Digital Love, I think she walks at 6 a.m. Okay. So get some movement in. It doesn't have to be walking. Okay. It doesn't have to be walking. Do chair aerobics. Go get you some cans out the pantry. Lift you some cans. Get those arms moving. As we get older, we lose a lot of our muscle strength. Our bones are getting weaker. So we've got to do some things to take care of our bodies so that we can handle this anxiety and this stress in a better way. Getting up with y'all every week is really helping. I'm not going to lie. If y'all could, especially now that I got to take my daughter to school, so I don't get no whooping, so she don't whoop me. My little car be on 2 wheels trying to get back here to get on the walking pad and connect with y'all. All right, so get some movement in. You choose what kind of movement you want to do. Whatever movement you want to do, you choose it. All right, you choose what movement you want to do, and you do those moves. Okay, do something. And as always, check with your doctor. But I ain't never heard a doctor say they don't want you doing something. Okay. A walk. You can do a slow. You can do a slow walk. Okay, a little 10-minute walk, a little 5-minute walk. So instead of getting that food, instead of going look at your Amazon cart and your Target cart, even though you told the social medias you was banning Target, but your Target cart, go ahead and take a 10-minute walk and see if that helps you feel a little better and reduces some of that energy that you're feeling. Okay, because it's not gonna go away. Big Digital Love says, all right, Toy, I'll put it out there. I'll put it out there for the groups. I'm proud of your walk today. Thank you, girl. She said, I almost spit my coffee out. Tamika said, my car be on full just in case I need something. She need to go walk that anxiety out with some shopping. Good morning, pecan China or pecan China or pecan China. Let me know, girl. But good morning. All right, so let's look at these numbers. It was a good walk. It was. I actually woke up in a good mood. That Target, yeah, the Target card, yeah. I ain't got my cards is empty. I ain't got no money. My cards is empty. Okay. So let's see. How did I do today? There's an app. I ain't downloaded it yet because time. I walked for 53 minutes, so that's good. Let's see how far I walk. Ooh, 2 miles today. Okay. So that puts me today Wednesday, right at 6 miles. Right at 6 miles. Already. I got 2 more days to go. Yes, I'll be here tomorrow. Okay. So let me do my little rundown as we wrap. I'm Martine, Monday through Friday. I walk at 7:40 for 30 minutes to an hour. I talk business, I talk encouragement, and I'm talking to you, but it's really a mirror because I'm really talking to myself because I need to encourage myself because I don't always feel confident about what I'm doing. So I'm welcoming you to join me in this walk of growth and encouragement. Okay. I'm super techie. And I can help you transform your life through AI, technology, and art. Yes, I can help you with that. I teach classes and I run a subscription with Talia and Regina. I'm one of the ladies of TRM. I'm the shortest in the group, but I'm also the anchor. Bye, TikTok. I always get shut down at an hour point. All right. All right, my Facebook fam, Facebook, YouTube fam, you guys have a great rest of your day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I'll be here. I will see you.